Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is, Bahashem, meaning in the name, Yahweh Shai, meaning He is our salvation, and that is who the world ignorantly calls Jesus a so-called black man. All right, and just going to talk about zeal. Okay, going to talk about zeal, and having zeal for this truth. Okay, having zeal for this truth. All right, because certain times, people will say something that shows that they don't really have zeal, or the zeal that they do have is not according to knowledge. All right. And being in these last times, man, being in these last days, in these last end times, we have to exhibit zeal, okay? Because that goes along with what? Hastening the day, all right? So we have to show zeal, and we're going to open up with the book of Psalms, chapter 69, and verse 9. It says, "For the zeal of thy house hath eaten me up, and the reproaches of them that reproacheth thee are fallen upon me." Okay? Now let's look up that word zeal in the Hebrew.
Strong's H 7068. Kin-ah.
That's the Hebrew word 7068, and it goes into outline of biblical usage. Adore, zeal, jealousy. Okay? Goes on to read, adore, jealousy, jealous, disposition, sexual passion, adore of zeal, of man for the Most High, of man for the house of the Most High for his people, adore of anger, okay? Of men against adversaries, of the Most High against man, envy of man, jealousy, resulting in the wrath of the Most High. So we exhibit zeal, okay? We exhibit adore of anger. Look up that word adore. Ardor. It says enthusiasm. Okay, so that's why you see, individual brothers, man. Hey, they may come off as rough around the edges. Okay, they may not be your cup of tea because they're enthusiastic, because they're zeal. Okay, and sometimes the zeal can get the best of us. All right, but we're enthusiastic for this truth, man. And when we see certain things happening, we just, I don't want to use the word lose it, but we just have that zeal, man. Okay? And it says in Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 7 that what? Let's read it. It says, "Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad," man. So you can see why certain individuals may have that zeal, because we're oppressed, man. When you find out about this truth and you see how you have to operate and move within this world, man, it makes you mad, okay? It gives you that zeal, all right? And, hey, if you're not oppressed, man, if you don't have a zeal for this truth, you got to examine yourself. 2 Corinthians 13 and verse 5. Examine yourselves and see whether or not you be in the faith, man. Because you're supposed to have a zeal for this truth, man. All right, according to knowledge. Okay? You see someone go off, you see someone making outlandish statements, that we're going to be here for another millennia or another 1,000 years. Hey, man, that's supposed to irate you, man, because we trying to get up out of here, all right? We don't need no, doubt that we gonna be here for a potential or another 1,000 years potentially. No, man. You see, that's why we out here doing the work, man, and putting in work so that we can get out of here sooner rather than later, okay? So you have to have a zeal for this knowledge, man, this truth according to knowledge. So it says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart, right? Which is what we're going to go into as well in this lesson, all right? And we're going to give an example that I'm pretty sure if you don't know, you will know by the end of this lesson, that Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, had a zeal, and it ate him up, okay? When he went into the temple and seen all the exchangers, exchanging money and oxen and doves and everything else, man. And that's supposed to be the temple of worship. And here they using it as a marketplace. And the zeal had eaten him up, as it said, okay? Which we were reading in Psalm 69, which is going to play a pivotal point in this lesson. Verse 9, it reads, "For the zeal of thy house hath eaten me up." Right. And we went into adore anger or enthusiastic anger. And another word was jealousy, okay? Because we're jealous for this word, man, all right? We don't want to see it being put in the wrong hands and being misused, okay? You see? Because you have individuals that may be in their own understanding having a zeal for this truth, but not according to knowledge, okay? And when we see said individual going off, we have to correct them and bring out correction with the word, okay? So yes, we have a zeal for this truth, man, all right? We have an adore of anger, an enthusiasm of anger. When we see something going off, especially something as crucial as with the mark of the beast is, man. That's one thing that those of us in the truth is going to have a zeal for, is that mark of the beast, that micro CHIP chip, okay? That's one thing you're going to see brothers in this truth, really in this truth, go and show their zeal for. Because that's an important prophecy, man. Along with having the names too. And calling on the names, which is Yahweh and the Son, the only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Brothers in the truth is going to have a zeal for that, man. You go off, you don't say the names, you seem lackadaisical on the names, you're using Christ too much, you're using Jesus too much, you're using any other names too much. We're going to let it be known, man. Because we have a zeal for this, okay? Understanding the importance where we're going to be saved by having those names, all right? So yeah, it may seem that brothers are rough around the edges because of our deliverance, man. Because we got a zeal, okay? We got an adore, an enthusiasm of anger, man. We understand the importance of the things that we saying, all right? So let's go to 2 Corinthians 7 and 11. 2 Corinthians, Romans 10 and verse 2. It says, "For I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High." So a lot of our people, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, they have a zeal for the Most High, you know. They think that they worshiping who they believe to be God, but in actuality, they ain't worshiping him, okay? So they, these so-called Christians, they have a zeal, but they don't have what? They don't have it according to knowledge, okay? So it says, "For I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge," which is what? This truth, okay? Wisdom and knowledge to be the stability of thy times, okay? The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. So they don't have a zeal according to this knowledge, man, all right? And that's where they go off, okay? breaking down the scriptures, not giving the complete breakdowns, telling you that the mark of the beast is something else other than what it is, telling you that the names doesn't matter, who you can call on as long as you believe in your heart. All that's going off according to the knowledge of this word, man. Okay? All of that is going off, all right? So, hey, it's good to have a zeal, but you got to have a zeal according to this knowledge, all right? So let's go to the book of John, chapter 2, okay? And we're going to start at verse 13. Give me 1 second. All right, so this is the book of John, chapter 2, and verse 13. And as you see, it says, first Passover, cleansing the temple. Verse 13. And the Jews' Passover was at hand, and Yahushua went up to Jerusalem, and found in the temple those that sold oxen and sheep and doves, and the changers of money sitting. And when he had made a scourge of small cords, he drove them all out of the temple, and the sheep and the oxen, and poured out the changers' money, and overthrew the tables. And he said unto them that sold doves, take these things hence, make not my father's house a house of merchandise. Okay? And a lot of our, brethren, if you will, that know the truth, that, have a zeal for the Most High, but not according to knowledge, they making merchandise, all right? A lot of them have become comfortable with being here in Babylon the Great, under this current wicked rulership of Esau Edom, all right? And it shows that, they don't have that zeal anymore. If they once had it, they lost it because they've now become comfortable with selling and making merchandise. All right. It says, verse 17, and his disciples remembered that it was written. Where was it written? We read it in Psalm 69 and verse 9. The zeal of thy house have eaten me up. Okay. So you see, the zeal, you have to have a healthy dosage of zeal, okay? But you can't be too over righteous, all right? Because you got some brothers or some people in the truth, shall I say, that are over righteous. It's all about balance, okay? Because you got some individuals that all they do is put the law onto people. The law. You're not going to be saved by the law, okay? You're not going to be saved by the law, so don't be over righteous, all right? It's good to have a zeal, but you can't be over righteous with this thing, all right? It's a balancing act. You have to be able to show compassion in the same sense, man, especially for those that don't know. Those that are coming in for the first time, maybe learning, trying to learn. You have to be able to use it as a balancing act, okay? You have to know how to control that zeal, all right? Because you can't just condemn somebody that just came in and they don't have a full-grown beard, okay? You have to give them time. Because you have to remember when you first came in, you didn't have everything all put together, all right? You didn't know everything, okay? It took time. So just as well as you had to take time to grow in this truth, they have to take time to grow in this truth. So you can't let your zeal get the best of you. It's all about balance, okay? You can't beat somebody over the head with the law, all right? Understanding that, yes, breaking of the law is transgression. Sin is breaking of the law or transgression against the law. That is sin, and that will get you taken out. But in the same sense, you have to be compassionate as well, knowing that this is the first time they're hearing this. They might not have an understanding. Okay? So it's all about balancing, man. It's all about having a balanced act. Okay? A just balance is the Most High's delight. as it tells us in Proverbs 11, I believe verse 1 or 2. Okay, so it's all about balance. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, and let's go down to verse 16. It reads, be not righteous over much. You see? So don't let your zeal have you to be over righteous. Okay? You got to keep the law, brother. You got to keep the law, sister. You got to wear your head covered. When you got to have your head covered, sister, when the word is out. You got to take your hat off, brother, when the word is out. You know, this is their first. This is their first time coming by a camp by hearing the word, man. All right. You got to be able to work with them. Okay. You trying to win them over, man. All right. This is the first time hearing this. It may be a shock for them. You gotta have your beard on, brother. You gotta grow your beard. You gotta have fringes on, okay? Because we're not going to be justified by keeping the law, man. All right, as it says in Isaiah 64. In verse 6, but we are all as an unclean thing, and all our righteousness are as filthy rags. As long as we in this sinful flesh, man, we can't keep the laws perfect, man. Okay? But it's that we are trying to the best of our ability to do that, to do them day in and day out. Okay? And this is all a part of the walk, man. All right? You have to grow in this walk. Okay? It says, and we do fade as a leaf, and our iniquities like the wind have taken us away. So it's all about balancing, man. Be not righteous over much. Okay? You may go to the grocery store, look up items or ingredients, in the back of a food, and they may have difficult words to pronounce, and you gotta have to eat, man. As long as you know that the ingredients that you see to the best of your ability doesn't pertain anything that's abominable like pork or shellfish or anything of that magnitude, tread accordingly, okay? We know we here in Babylon the Great and our food is defiled, man. Okay, so when we go to the grocery stores and we look at the back of the packages for the ingredients, we recognize certain ingredients, okay? And we know we're looking for things that isn't, compatible with what the word says. If you got hot dogs that says pork in them, to put it back, man. Get beef, Not saying that you should eat hot dogs in the first place, but sometimes you can't afford anything but hot dogs, but make the best decision based on what you got. All right? If all you can afford is a pack of hot dogs, man, don't get those pork or beef with pork hot dogs, man. Try to get beef. All right? If you gotta, let's say, if you want to get ribs, don't get pork ribs, get beef ribs, man. All right? It's having a balance, man. Okay? Don't be over righteous. All right? It takes time to fully blossom and grow into this truth, man. Okay? But in the same sense, you got to have a zeal once you come into this truth. Once you start to learn and pick up, you got to have a zeal for this thing, man. Okay? You got to be on fire. All right? So it's all about a balancing act. Okay? You got to have balance, man. Okay? Sure, you got to have a zeal for it, but you can't be over righteous too, man. All right? Because being over righteous can actually lead to you, dare I say, being too much, and you may take on more than you can handle, man. Oh no, man, I can't drive my car because it's the Sabbath. And hey, man, if you're doing the work righteously, you go into the camp, yeah, you can do your work. Because what did Yahweh Shai say? When I believe it was the Pharisees, or maybe the scribes and Sadducees, when they was collecting corn, they said, have you not heard what David did on the Sabbath? Okay? So there's certain things where, you got to use balance and you got to use wisdom, knowledge, and stability. Okay. If you got to crank your car up on the Sabbath to go to camp, which is, lighting the fire, which you're not supposed to on the Sabbath, then guess what? You're doing it for good sake. You're doing it for righteousness' sake. Okay. Now, if you're cranking up your car on the Sabbath to go see a movie or go to the theme park or something like that, then that's totally different, man. Okay. Well, if you're doing something on the Sabbath for righteous, that's completely understandable. Okay. So be not righteous over much, man. Ecclesiastes 7:16. Be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. You see, because you can burn yourself out in this truth, man. If you let the zeal consume you to the point where you burn yourself out, you'll burn yourself out, man. It's all about balancing. Yeah, you're supposed to have a zeal, but you're not supposed to be having that zeal 24/7, 365, man. You have to have a balancing act, man. You have to do things that can, balance yourself in this truth. All right. You may go out, listen to some music, or have a walk, in the park or whatever, man. Are you going to be yelling at people while you're on your walk? No, man. There's a time and place for everything. Okay. That's the balance and the simplicity in this truth. Okay. You have to have balance. You have to have, this truth has to be level. All right. And otherwise you're going to burn yourself out, man. You're not going to last. This is a race, man. You got to endure to the end. Okay. You got to endure. So sure, you got to have a zeal, but you got to have balance, man. You can't be over righteous. You can't let that zeal consume you. Okay. Especially when you don't have a zeal according to knowledge, man. You out here doing your own thing, man, and not understanding what the purpose is behind this, you're going to burn yourself out, man. You're going to be trying to correct every family member when you go to the cookout. Why y'all eating that pork? Why y'all celebrating this? Why y'all celebrating that? Hey, man, you got to let that be, man. That's their lot, man. You're not going to save everybody. You see? You got to understand the balance of having that zeal, okay? All your family ain't going to get it. Some of them just meant to, be that part that they're going to have to get it in the kingdom when they come back, okay? You ain't going to be able to save them. You're not going to be able to save anybody, okay? Only Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah is going to be able to do that, all right? But yeah, you got to have a zeal, man, okay? Especially in certain things, you see individuals going off, man. That zeal gets you, it eats up at you. It causes you to have that adore of anger, that enthusiasm of anger. Man, he said, what? His name is Jesus? No, man. And then they teaching that. Hey, you got to correct them, man. That's what the scriptures was for reproof, for correction, for instructions. 2 Timothy 3:16. All right. So yeah, we have a zeal. All right. But it's according to knowledge, because most of these Christians and other religions, they don't have a zeal. Okay. And, the so-called Christians, they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge, man. That's why they'll sit here and go back and forth with you on who the Jews and Greeks are. They have a zeal of the Most High of this Bible, but not according to knowledge, man. They deny all of the Apocrypha, all of our history of us going into captivity and under the Greeks in Romans. Okay? And the Grecians, all right? What you're going to find out in the Apocrypha, okay? So they don't have the whole truth, man, okay? They zeal, which is damn near almost finished, man, because the truth is out now, man. We know who we are. We know who the enemy is, okay? We are not ignorant of your devices anymore, Satan. 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. You see? We've woken up to the fact that, we are the children of Israel, Yasharallah, okay? You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? And we got a zeal, man. Speaking of the elect, okay, we have a zeal of enthusiasm, of anger to what? Guard this book, man, of jealousy, because we don't want to see this book in just anybody else's hand, man. All right, for the longest, it's been in Christians' hands, it's been in Presbyterians' hands, baptism hands, all of these other false religions' hands, man. And we are envious of that. All right, because we want it back in its rightful position to its rightful owner. You Israelites, you saints, okay? So we have a zeal, man. And even within our own people who's using it for their own purpose, okay? We have a zeal. Saying that we're going to be here for another possible 1,000 years. You see? We got a zeal, man. Those of us that are watchmen, those of us that are doorkeepers, you know, that's part of our title, man. You got to have a zeal for this truth, man. All right? But we also have balance. You know, we understand those that's coming in for the first time may not have a complete understanding. So we try to show compassion to the you know, best of our ability, man. Sometimes the zeal gets the best of us, man. Okay? We may take something out of context what the person says, you know, especially if it's a comment left. But if we found to be, you know, at fault, or we came off a little bit harsher than what we saw, we'll address the situation accordingly. All right? But that's all part of this walk, man. As you see, as you grow in this truth, you're going to find out, man. That zeal gets the best of you. Okay? All right? Because why? You want to make sure this truth isn't tainted. All right? Especially when you calling on the names of the Father and the only begotten Son, man. That's enough to get your blood boiling when you hear somebody calling on another name, man. And then telling the people that the mark of the beast isn't the micro CHIP chip, leading them, you know, to slaughter. All right? It'll get you, man. All right? But you can't be righteous over much, because at the end of the day, we understand that they are the ones that was destined to not get the truth. Okay? We understand it. Okay? They are the ones that's not destined to get it, man. If everyone got it, then there wouldn't be an elect. Okay? Only the elect will actually get it and keep it until the end. Okay? That's the difference. The elect are going to get it and actually keep it all the way into the end. All right? So I believe that's going to be it. You know, we're going to finish up and close out 1 Peter 5 and 8. And it reads, be sober, be vigilant, you see? So yeah, have a good, healthy dosage of zeal, but understand, you know, don't be over righteous. Okay? Don't be over righteous of much, man. Why should I destroy thyself? I don't know if I finished that out in Ecclesiastes 7 and 16, but let's go back there and make sure. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 16. It reads, be not righteous over much, neither maketh thyself over wise. You see? Don't make yourself over wise. Don't complicate things, man. The truth is simple, all right? It's not meant to be overcomplicated, all right? And you can easily find yourself making things harder than what they actually are. It says, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? Right. You'll fall out, man. You'll cause yourself to get ulcers and all type of things, man. You have to balance yourself in this truth, man. All right? It's a balancing act. Okay? You got to find your balance in this thing, okay? What allows you to stay focused in this truth, all right? Maybe it's exercising. Maybe it's walking around the park. Maybe it's listening to music, you know, as long as it's not going off according to the Bible, man, okay? As long as it's not going off, you find some type of peace that you can balance this truth with. Because why should you destroy yourself, man? By being righteous, by being over much righteous. All right. It's balancing, man. All right. Some brothers, they like to have a glass of, their drink. Okay. You see? But you ain't going to see a brother out there smoking a cigarette, preaching the word, man. Smoking a fat L, preaching the word. No. That's completely going off, man. Yeah, I'm cool as a cucumber. Now I got my L in my hand. I'm blowing up that smoke, man. Nah, that's going off, man. Okay? That's going completely way off, all right? You got to use wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You got to use what? Wisdom, all right? You find your peace, but you don't do things that contradicts what the word says, man. Your body is a temple. All right, you inhaling that smoke, that's not good, man. That's where the Holy Spirit dwells at, within your temple, man. You're polluting it, okay? It's about being sober. Even when you drink, you don't drink to get drunk. You drink in moderation. You get your nice little buzz, that's good, okay? Now you drinking to get pissy drunk, that's something totally different, man. So it's all about peace. It's all about balance, okay? So you got the truth, and then you got your balancing act. Some brothers like to read. Some brothers like to watch movies or what have you. All right? Be not righteous over much. Neither make thyself over wise. Right? Whatever portion was given to you, use it. You can't have everything. That's what the body's for. Okay? Some brothers may be skilled in the history part. Some brothers may be skilled in, the art part or whatever. They can, draw pictures that can depict what the scriptures say. Some brothers may be skilled in, breaking down certain prophecies, going into the words, the etymology of them. All right? Every brother has his part in this walk, okay? And through the will of the Heavenly Father, you're going to find your part, man, because it's going to allow you to completely, grow and get to the end of this race, okay? I believe that's in Ecclesiastes. Let's see if I can bring that up. Ecclesiastes 9:11, it says, I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happeneth to them all. Right? So, hey, whenever you come into this truth, that's by time and chance. Okay? It happens to us all. We didn't all come into this truth all at once. You got some brothers that came in at the year 2007. You got others that started way before 2007, and you're going to have others that start way after 2007. Okay? All the way up until the end. So guess what? You have to find your lane, and you have to maintain that. Okay? You got to maintain this race, man. It ain't a sprint. All right? Although we close to the end, we picking up the pace. We can see the finish line. But you have brothers that's been in it for 10, 20, 30. Even the elders that's been in it for 40 years just about. Okay, you think they came in sprinting? It's all about finding your lane, finding your balance, okay? And maintaining it, okay? You got to have a zeal for this thing, man. All right, that's what keeps you moving, man. That's that midnight oil, burning that midnight oil, man. You got to have a zeal, all right? But you can't be over righteous, man. You got to understand that everybody ain't going to get it, all right? Because you'll burn yourself out trying to, believing that you're going to save everybody, man. No, you got to understand that there's an elect, and that's who we here for, man. We're not here for everybody else. See, that's what the Christians and certain Israelites don't get it, man. And they get it to an extent because they want to get as many people to join them or their organization as possible, because why? They want to make merchandise, okay? Which is why Yahushua had that zeal when he saw them, selling doves and having oxen and everything else in the temple, the Lord's temple, all right? He overthrew the money exchange and everything because he understood what they was doing, man. All right? So guess what? You got to have that zeal, all right? But you can't be over righteous about much or you'll destroy yourself, man. All right? So 1 Peter 5:8 says, be sober, be vigilant. See, you got to have that zeal, but you got to be sober too. You can't be over righteous. All right? You got to know your battles. You can't try to fight and try to convince everybody, man. They going to stop and listen and be inquisitive, or they going to just keep on going. As it says in Proverbs 22:3, the prudent man foreseeth evil and hideth himself, but the simple passes on, man. You're going to have certain, man, you just understand it, man. As you grow in this truth, you understand it. Everybody ain't going to get it, man. All right? But it ain't going to stop you from doing what you're supposed to be doing. All right? So be sober. Be vigilant. Why? Because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Spiritual demon Satan, he may try to work on your mind. Oh, you ain't doing enough. Yeah, look at that. You got a lot of people out here still sinning, man. You better go out and do and beat them over the head with the law. Whatever Satan uses to get inside your head, man. Or he may use other people, to get on your nerves, man. Oh, look at him. He out here smoking, blowing smoke in your face while you're trying to preach the word. Because that's part of the elements. When you go out on the highway and hedges, you can't predict what other people are going to do to you. You may have individuals that Satan get on that playing loud music when you just trying to, preach the word. Here it is. You got someone standing on the corner or even in their car playing loud music right there where you at. And you try to be as patient as possible. Wait for them to go on. Or if they still standing there, ask them, if you don't mind, can you take that down the street? Or if push come to shove, you just get up and move to another place, man. You see? Satan comes in all shapes and forms, man. Not just working on the mind of you, but he works on the mind of other people to get towards you. Yeah, I'm going to get on this person. I'm going to get in this person's head right here to light up that cigarette and stop right in front of you and just, for no particular reason, just start to get on their phone and talk and be there for 5 or 10 minutes. Working your patience, man. All right? And your zeal may want to get over and overtake you and tell them, hey, move the fuck on, man. Excuse the language. If they do what they do in the video, they do what they do with the video. But move the on, man. Don't you see him preaching the word? But you got to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves, man. Because these people are hinge wired to go off, man. All right? You got to be using discernment when you out there on the streets, man. Understanding that that's a battlefield, okay? You dealing with all type of spirits out there, man. You got to have your zeal, but you got to be able to use it with balance, man. All right? But on the same foot, you also got to understand you ain't no weenie boy, no chump, all right? But we don't resort to, throwing hands, man, okay? Although throwing hands seem as if it would be a quick gratification, man. Hey, but let the Lord deal with them, man. Because the Lord can jack them up worse than anything we can do, man. All right? So as long as they don't touch you, man, you good, okay? They don't invade your personal space. Let them do what they do, man, from a distance, man. And take that away. Go down the street that away, man. All right? So be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, man, he'll jump on the people, okay, just to see whether or not, you can control yourself. All right? That's why this truth has a lot of wisdom in it. It tells you how to handle every situation that comes your way, man. It puts you up on game before it happens, so you'll be prepared when it does happen. You just have to keep that, that clear mind. It says, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. He may even get on somebody at your job. You see? That's why it says what? Ephesians 6 and right around verse 12 on down. Put on the whole armor of the Most High. Okay? That's this truth, man. All right? You got to have the whole armor on, man. Because this devil is prone to attack at any time. He'll get in your head or he can get in somebody else's head to try to get to you. So you got to have this whole armor on at all time. Ephesians 6 and verse 12, I believe. Put on the whole armor of the Most High. All right? Because, hey, this is a battlefield we on, man. you step out your house even while you in your house. You dealing with all type of spirits, man. Okay? Your car might not start up when you crank it up. Oh, man, I'm going to be late to work. Man. You get to work. Your co-workers on that BS. Here it is. You got to make up the slack for their work, man. They over there chilling, lollygagging. You take your job, serious to the degree where you don't want to have to do and make up the work that they ain't doing. And it's all understandable, man. Okay, that's why it says oppression maketh a wise man mad, man. All right? This kingdom got to go, man. And if you want to stay here for another 1,000 years, man, that don't show you that you in the right, the right spirit, man. All right? So be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. So with that being said, pray someone was edified through this lesson. And until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We almost home. Shalom. Peace.